Hey everyone. So I've been working on this podcast for a couple days now, and it's about addiction and what addiction really is. So let's be honest, if addiction was really about willpower, none of this would be happening. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to destroy my life today. Nobody starts using drugs or drinking thinking this is going to end badly, but let's do it anyways. That's not how addiction starts. And that's misunderstanding. And this misunderstanding has messed a lot up. Addiction doesn't begin with destruction, it begins with relief. Relief from anxiety, relief from pain, relief from a brain that won't shut up. And that's where we've been getting it all wrong. For a long time, we thought addiction was about pleasure. Dopamine hits, getting high, chasing fun. But now that we can actually study the brain, we know that's not true. Dopamine doesn't just mean pleasure, dopamine also means importance. It's the brain saying, pay attention, this matters, remember this. In a healthy brain, dopamine helps us survive. It lights up when we eat, when we connect with people, when we accomplish things, when we do things that keep us alive and functioning. Dopamine, it tells us to do those things. But drugs hijack that system. They don't just feel good. Drugs flood the brain with dopamine in amounts nature never intended. And the brain doesn't know this is fake. It just knows something huge has happened. So it learns the wrong lesson. It learns this is essential. This, what I'm doing right now, is essential, which could be nothing. It could just be living high on drugs, on alcohol. And when you're not high doing the same things on drugs and alcohol, that dopamine's not there. So this is when addiction starts, not because someone lacks morals, but because their brain now believes this substance is more important than anything else, more important than safety, more important than consequences, sometimes more important than life itself, many times. And here's the part people really struggle to understand. Addicts don't keep using because they enjoy the damage. They keep using because the part of the brain that recognizes danger goes offline. The thinking brain, the one that plans, predict, and says, stop. This gets quiet. The survival brain takes over. The things that say, do it, do it, do it. It's going to make you happy. It's going to make you feel good. And the survival brain doesn't care about jobs or families or tomorrow. It cares about one thing, making the pain stop right now. That's why addiction looks so irrational, because it's not happening in the rational part of the brain. It's happening in the old part of the brain, the oldest part, the lizard brain, they call it, the part that controls fear, pain, hunger, sex, survival, the part that reacts instead of thinks. When drugs hit that system, they don't ask permission, they don't negotiate, they convince actually the brain that the drug equals safety. You could be sitting in a disgusting house filled with people you don't know, all on drugs, and you feel safer than you've ever felt in your life. And it has nothing to do with the environment, but what has happened to your brain. When drugs hit that system, they don't ask permission. They don't negotiate. That's why opioid users nod off. That's why stimulant users become paranoid. That's why benzos erase anxiety. That's why alcohol quiets the nervous system until it doesn't. Different drugs, same pattern. Relief first, damage later. And once the brain learns that shortcut, it doesn't forget it. That's why addiction doesn't reset. You don't start over after years of after years of sobriety, sorry. The brain remembers exactly how it worked, exactly how fast relief came, exactly what to do to get it back. That memory lives deep, survival level deep. And when the drug is gone, life feels flat, empty, pointless. You could be in the safest room feeling vulnerable, exposed, high anxiety. Not because life actually is, but because the brain's reward system has been distorted. Normal dopamine spikes don't register anymore. Food doesn't help. Success doesn't help. Love doesn't help. So the drug stops being about happiness. It becomes about survival. That's the moment people say, I don't care anymore. That's not apathy. That's neurological exhaustion. And this is why addiction isn't a moral failure. It's not a lack of willpower. It's not someone choosing harm. It's a brain that learned something too well and lost access to the systems that normally protect us from ourselves. Until we understand that, we will keep punishing people for something their brain can't currently do. But once we do understand it, we can finally stop asking, why won't they stop? And start asking, what happened to their brain? Maybe they need help. Maybe they need recovery. This is what addiction is. I hope it gives you a little bit better understanding of why addicts look like they've lost their way, but they don't think they have. They really don't think they have. Thanks for listening.